So now today we are going to discuss about what is the use of full stack development, and at the same time what is full stack development and how many categories like partitions we have here. Now we are going to discuss step by step. What is meant by full stack? So full stack is a combination of both front end as well as back end. Full stack is a combination of both front end as well as back end. So first you have to know what is meant by front end, then we'll move to the next one, that is what is meant by back end. So front end is completely, it is a viewport. Front end is completely, it is a viewport. That means if you are opening any application also, for example, if I'm opening like a Amazon, or if I'm opening Flipkart, or if I'm opening Facebook or Instagram, if I'm opening anything, so completely it is a view only. Okay, whatever you are seeing here, that is view. So if I'm opening here Amazon application, if I'm opening Amazon application, whatever you are seeing here, that is completely viewport only. Here completely it is a viewport. If I'm opening here, so like a Flipkart, now I'm opening here another application like a Flipkart. If I'm opening this application, so whatever you are seeing here, that is completely like a front end. See here, so whatever you are seeing, so this is completely built with the help of front end languages only. So if you are opening any website also or any web application, that application is divided into two parts. One is front end and second one is back end. So what is meant by front end? Front end is completely like a viewport. So viewport in the sense what you are seeing. So what you are seeing, that is viewport. For example, here we are seeing like one box format. Now this is the view. So if you are considering this complete thing, so that is also view only. So if you are taking any application, so completely we are seeing here, that is viewport. If you want to create this viewport, you have to learn the front end. So then what about backend functionality? For example, we are doing like a registration. If you want to create any Gmail, so what we are going to do, we have to go with a create account, right? So in the create account, you are going to enter your all the information. After entering all the information, you are going to click on the button like a register or create button. If you are go with here register or create button, automatically our data is stored into the DB, nothing but database. So how to store into the database and how to work with the retrieve operations, all these things we are going to implement in the backend. So this is called roughly full stack. What is meant by full stack? The full stack is a combination of both front end and back end. It is a combination of both front end as well as back end. So front end is nothing but what you are seeing in the browser screen. So in the browser screen, here I am seeing this one. This is called front end. So if I'm opening another application, here whatever you are seeing, this is called front end. So that means the viewport, we can easily say viewport is for front end. What about back end? So backend is completely like a functionality wise. For example, in our regular life, we are using Gmail. If you are creating any Gmail account, we have to go with a create new account option. After entering all the information, your name, phone number, and at the same time, password, everything you are entering now. So that entire data, it will be stored into the DB. And if I'm login, every time it is checking whether you are a valid user or invalid user, it is checking. How to checking that one? By using backend programming. Both are programming only, but this is front end and this is back end. Front end is always like a visible and back end is completely here. It is in the hidden format. So only developer can see the code like a backend functionality, but the front end, if you want to see the source also, you are able to see. That is the difference between like front end and back end. I'm going to explain one more time, guys, just to listen. So what is meant by full stack development? Full stack development is a combination of front end and back end. What is meant by front end? Front end is nothing but viewport. Whatever you are seeing, that is called view. So these kind of views, if you want to build, we have to use the front end language here. So what about backend? So backend is completely like a hidden format. Completely we are going to write the logics only. Like we have to always connect with the database, and in the database we are going to perform the crowd operations also. We'll discuss all these things detailing one by one. So first you have to know front end. So like a front end is a full stack is a combination of front end and back end. Just to remember this word only. Later we'll discuss one by one here. Full stack is a combination of both front end and back end. If I want to build a front end application, so at the time, what are the modules you required, and what is the modules so we are using to build the application? Now we are going to discuss step by step here. So in our regular life, we are seeing n number of websites, right? So www.enadu.net. So if you want to read the newspaper, you can just open the website and you can just read it. If you want to see the cricket scores, just we are going to open the website and we can saw the scores also, right? That means in our regular life, we are using n number of websites, right? What is meant by website? Website is a collection of web pages. It is a collection of web pages. So what is meant by web page? So web page is nothing but if you are opening anything in the browser, that browser screen, we can call it as a web page. What is meant by website? Website is a collection of web pages. If you are opening anything in the browser, we can call it as a web page. For example, see here. Now I'm opening here Hyderabad IT trainings. If I'm opening this one, you can observe here. We are getting one web page. This total we can call it as a web page here. And if I'm click on here about us, we are getting here another web page. About us page we are getting. You can observe here. If I'm going to click on courses, another page we are getting here. This is for courses. If I'm click on here new batches, again we are getting new page here. That means if you are observing in this website, we have n number of web pages here. So that is the reason. So website is a collection of web pages. So what is meant by web page? If you are opening anything in the browser, we can call it as a web page. For example, here I'm opening the Zoom. Here I'm opening the Zoom. If I'm going to click on, so we are getting here Zoom website. In the Zoom website, you can observe here, we have the options called products, we have the resources, solutions, we have plan and pricing. If I'm click on here plan and pricing, so you are getting here another page here for planning and the pricing details purpose. They given here one more option. If I want to join the meeting, if I'm click on this one, it is moved to the another page. So you can observe here. That means if you are observing any website also, we have internally n number of web pages. So what is meant by website? Website is a collection of web pages. What is meant by web page? If you are opening anything in the browser, we can call it as a web page. So this is one web page, and this is another web page, and this is another web page. So here the combination of web pages we can call it as a website. So website is a collection of web pages. If you are opening anything in the browser screen, we can call it as a website. Clear, right? So these websites we have completely two types. In the real time, we have two types of websites. One is static website and second one is dynamic website. One is static website and second one is dynamic website. If I want to create the static website, what are the programming languages required? And first, what is meant by static website? Now we are going to discuss step by step. So what is meant by website? Website is a collection of web pages. It is a collection of web pages. If you are opening anything in the browser, we can call it as a web page. Simply, browser screen, we can call it as a web page. Total two types of websites are there, static and dynamic. What is meant by static? Static website contains completely like a fixed content. It is completely like a fixed content only for presentation purpose only. We are creating the static websites. For example, I'm going to start some business. If I want to promote in online, so I'm going to choose like a static website only. Why? Because I'm going to initially move with a fixed content only. I want to promote in online just for visibility purpose only, presentation purpose only. So that is the use of static website. Static is nothing but it is a fixed content. In that website, each and everything should be fixed only for presentation purpose only. We are creating the static websites. So, for example, I have some website www.abcd.com. So I want to know whether it is a static or dynamic. So how to know that one? If we have the extension .html or .htm, we can easily conclude that is static website. For example, now I'm opening here ElearnInfotech.com. So this website, static website or dynamic website, I have to know how to know that one. See here, we have here the navigations, nothing but menu. If I'm click on the menu, so you can observe here, what is the extension we have? .html. If you have the extension .html or .htm, we can easily understood that is static website. So what is meant by static website? It is a fixed content. Only for presentation purpose only, we are going to build the static websites. If you want to know whether that website is a static or dynamic, how to know the static? If you have the extension .html or .htm, we can easily understood that is static website, right? So here it is a fixed content. Now, if you require any changes at the time, what we are going to do? Simply we can contact to the developer. Why? Because they know complete coding skills. So if you have coding knowledge, so at the time there is no problem. You can do any kind of changes also. That is called static. What is meant by static? It is a fixed content. Only for presentation purpose only, we are going to create that kind of websites. So how to identify if we have the extension .html or .htm, we can easily understood that is static website. If you require any changes, so through the coding knowledge, we can do the changes. So that is about static website. Now you can observe, I'm going to open another website. So this website, I want to know whether it is a static or dynamic. How to know that one? First, you have to click on the navigation menu. You have to click on any navigation item. What is the extension we have? .html. If you have the extension .html, we can easily understood that is static website here. If I require any changes, if I want to change my phone number, or if I want to change my logo, or if I want to change the content, so first you have to know whether it is a static or dynamic. You know already it is a static. If I know the coding knowledge, I can do the changes. So only developer can do the changes. That is called static website. So what about dynamic? Dynamic in the sense, so we have here separate admin panel. We have here separate admin panel. With the help of this admin panel, you can do any kind of changes also. So which kind of changes? You can post something, you can edit also, and you can delete also. I will show you with example so that you will get the clarity here. So what is meant by dynamic? Dynamic in the sense, we can do the changes with the help of admin panel. Now I am opening another website. You can observe here. I am opening another website. In this website, this is completely like a hospital category business it is. You can observe. Here we have the procedures, nothing but treatments. We have here the specifications. If I want to add any other thing, so at that time what we have to do? So here you can observe this is a dynamic application. I'm going to open here admin panel. So through this admin panel, so you are going to log in, and after login, we have here admin dashboard. Through this admin dashboard, you can do any kind of changes also. For example, I want to add some category like ABCD, and it is asking some image. I can go with here some image also. For example, I'm going to consider this is the image we are going to upload. Now you can just observe, if I click on here add category, the category is added successfully. So whether it is updated or not, you can observe. Now I'm going to open the website. In this website, you can just check once. See here, the category is added or not. This is called dynamic. If you are observing, for doing the changes, I didn't write any code here. So what we implemented? So just I am accessing here admin panel. So through this admin panel, you can do any kind of changes. So how to access this admin panel? We have to know the admin credentials. This credentials is nothing but logins. This username and password we are going to send to only authorized person, that is client. So if I'm creating the dynamic website, I can create first admin panel. So for security purpose, I'm going to create some username and password. Through this username and password, you can do any kind of changes. Which kind of changes? You can post something, and at the same time, you can edit as well as you can delete. So you can observe, if I'm giving my username and password, you can add the categories here easily, right? And at the same time, here we have another option, edit and delete categories also. Just now only we posted the category. I don't want this category. I can just go with the delete. Now see here, category deleted successfully, and I'm going to reload one more time. Now there is no category here. So that means if I'm giving my username and password, you can easily log in and you can do directly changes also. This is called dynamic website. Understood now? What is meant by dynamic? Dynamic in the sense we have separate admin panel. So or we can also call it as a admin dashboard. We have admin dashboard. So with the help of this admin dashboard, you are going to do any kind of changes also. You can post something, or you can edit something, or you can delete something. So this is about so the difference between static and dynamic websites. I'm going to revise one more time. Just you can observe here. What is meant by website? Website is a collection of web pages. If you are opening any website also, n number of pages are there. So that is the reason we can call it as a website is a collection of web pages. And how many types of websites we have? Two types, right? One is static and second one is dynamic. What is meant by static? It is a fixed content. So and at the same time, only for presentation purpose only we are creating. If you require any changes, simply we can contact to the developer. Through the coding knowledge, they are going to do any kind of changes also. How to identify whether it is a static or dynamic? If you have the extension .html, we can easily understood that is static or dynamic. Now I'm opening another website. This website is static or dynamic. I have to know. How to know that one? If I'm click on the navigation, you can observe we are getting the extension. So the extension is not HTML. It is like a PHP. So here, if you have extension .html or .htm, at the time we can call it as a static website. So what about dynamic? So dynamic in the sense we have here separate admin panel or admin dashboard we have. With the help of credentials, you are going to log in and you can do any kind of changes also. You can do the post operation, edit or delete also. This is called dynamic website. So for dynamic websites, we have the extensions .php, .py, .aspx, .jsp, like that we have here. If you are observing, it is PHP language, and py is Python, .aspx, that is .NET, .jsp, nothing but Java. If we have any extension, so we can easily understood that is called dynamic website. For example, if I want to create the static website, what are the programming languages required? What are the modules we are going to learn? Now we are going to discuss step by step. So if I want to create the static website, first we have to learn the HTML. Then we have to go with the CSS. Then we have to go with here JavaScript. Then so jQuery and Bootstrap. So we'll discuss one by one. What is the use of all these modules and why we are using? Now we are going to discuss step by step. If I want to create the static website, so I have to know the different modules like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, and Bootstrap. These many modules I require. So what is the use of HTML and why we are using HTML? Now we are going to discuss step by step. What is HTML? By using HTML, we can design the layout. What is meant by layout? Layout is nothing but browser screen. So we can also call it as a web page. If you want to design any web page, we have to use the HTML. So HTML stands for hypertext markup language. If you want to create any layout, what is meant by layout? Layout in the sense browser screen only, right? So you can observe here. So this is my web page. It is my browser screen. Here I want some image. Here I want some table. And here I want some heading. And here I want some paragraph. This kind of design we can build with the help of HTML. That is the reason we can here call it as a, by using HTML, we can design the layout. Nothing but here web page structure. It is web page structure. So that means where you require the logo and where you require the table and where you require the content, that kind of design we can build with the help of HTML. For example, you can observe here. Now I'm going to open our website ElearnInfotech.com. If I'm opening this one, here we have the logo. If I want to place the logo, I have to use some tag for that, image tag. If I want to work with this kind of images also, again, I can go with the image tag only. You can observe here we have the heading and paragraphs. If I want to display this one, again, I can use the HTML only. That means whatever you are seeing here, that is completely view. If you want to create this kind of view, we can just go with the HTML only. Simply, we can say here by using HTML, we can design the layout structure or web page structure. This is completely like a design part only, where you require the table, where you require the heading. So it is completely like the plan copy of our house. If you want to build any house, so we have to go with some planning, right? So we have to take like a engineer plan. So that one here we can call it as a HTML. By using HTML, we are just doing the designing, or we are going to do the layout structure here. So this is about HTML. By using HTML, we are going to design the layout of your web page structure. And HTML stands for hypertext markup language, right? So what is meant by markup language? In markup language, each and everything we have completely like a tag format. In markup language, each and everything we have tag format. How to write the tags? By using angular brackets. So these less than greater than symbols we have, right? We can call it as a angular brackets. By using angular brackets, we are going to write the tags. For example, if I'm writing here P, we can call it as a P tag. If I'm writing here table, we can call it as a table tag. If I'm writing here image, we can call it as a image tag. Entire HTML, it should be like a tag format. Entire HTML should be like a tag format. So if you want to display anything in the browser, compulsory we have to write the tag for that. So how many types of tags we have in our HTML? We have mainly two types of tags. Mainly two types of tags we have. One is paired tag. One is paired tag, and second one is unpaired tag. One is paired tag and second one is unpaired tag. Paired tag in the sense we have to open the tag and we have to close the tag. If I'm opening here P tag, we have to close the P tag here. This is called paired tag. We have to open the tag and we have to close the tag. We'll discuss more about these things. Just you have to understand HTML is completely like a tag format. We have two types of tags, paired tag and unpaired tag. Paired in the sense you have to open the tag and you have to close the tag. And what about unpaired? Unpaired in the sense we have tag name which is itself closing. There is no separate closing here. See here we are opening the tag and we are closing separately. But here we don't have any separate thing. We have only like a self-closing. It is also called as a self-closing tag. This is also called as a self-closing tag. So like that we have here two categorized tags. So by using HTML, we can design the layouts. So completely web page structure we are going to build, where you require the logo, where you require the table, where you require the content. We have to just display that kind of things here. That is HTML. Okay. HTML entire thing should be like a tag format only. So the tags we can write by using angular brackets. And mainly we have two types of tags. One is paired tag and second one is unpaired tag. We have to open the tag and we have to close. That is called paid. Unpaid in the sense tag name, which is itself closing. So that is about overview of our HTML. Then next we'll go with another module. What is the next module here? CSS, right? So CSS stands for cascading style sheet. That name only it is describing we are going to apply styles. For which one we are applying? For HTML tags. Just now only we discussed tags, right? Paired tag and unpaired tag. Further to tags only, here we are applying the styles. Which kind of styles? You can apply the background color. You can apply the background images, font sizes, font families, different kind of things you can apply. See, if you are taking like HTML, we have like this. There is no colorfulness. If I'm taking like a CSS, now we can observe here. So now little bit better appearance we have. So why? Because we are adding here the background color. So which color you require, you can just add it automatically. You are getting here. If I'm taking one heading, for example, I'm going to take here like this. So here the heading color also I'm going to change again with the help of CSS. Now I'm going to change here. See here, welcome to ABCD. So here the content, so whatever you are taking heading, that heading color also it is changed. How to do that one? With the help of CSS only. By using CSS, we can do the decoration. We can do the decoration of web page. Already we have web page. By using HTML we created. So here what we are doing? We are doing here decoration part. Nothing but styles for your web page. Which kind of styles you are going to apply? You can apply the background color. See here, we have the background color. If I want to change the color, you can just go with here. So through the CSS, I am going to change here. This is just a preview purpose only. You can observe whether the color is changed or not. You can observe. So how to do that one? With the help of CSS, we can just apply the colors. Now see here, we implemented here the background color. So I don't want single color. I want to work with here mixed colors. If I want to work with the mixed colors, so we have the concept called gradient. Now I'm going to use here the gradient. You can observe. We have here black color. If I move to the right side, we have here transparent color. I don't want transparent. I want like a red color. Now you can observe black and red colors are mixed here. So how to do this one? By using CSS only, we are going to do this kind of styling part. Not only these things, I will show you a few more examples for the CSS. You can observe here. Now, if you are observing, we have here the button. This button edges you can observe. We have here sharp edges, but I want a little bit round shape. This button I want round shape. So for that, what we are going to do? I can just add here again CSS property. You can just observe the output only. Don't observe the code. Now you can observe. See here. Previously it is like this. Now, so you are getting here round shape. So with the help of CSS, we implemented. Now you can observe again the shape is changed here. So again we can build with the help of CSS only. And I don't want that black color font. I want to change here white color. Now see here the font color also it is changed here. So how to do these kind of activities? With the help of CSS only. By using CSS, we can do the complete decoration of your web page. Not only background colors, not only font colors, you can also increase the font sizes and line heights, n number of things. Now see here, we are getting here the heading. This heading, by default, we have some font size. If I want to adjust the size of that one, I can use with the help of CSS. Now see here. So what happened? The size is increased or not, you can observe here. So now I'm going to decrease also. We can adjust here the font sizes also with the help of CSS here. I want to apply here, so like a lowercase. If I want to convert that entire character should be lowercase, I can go with here. So text transform again in the CSS, I'm going to apply. Now see here, each and everything we are getting here lowercase only. If I want uppercase, I can go with here uppercase we are getting or not, you can observe here. If I'm taking here another value here, so what happened you can observe. So if I'm taking here capitalize, Actually, each and every letter, starting letter should be capital, but you are not getting that one. Why? Because in the coding, whatever the pattern you are writing, it is considered by default. So if you want to do the customizations also, we can able to do the customization with the help of CSS. By using CSS, we are going to do the decoration of web page. Complete styling part we are going to build. That is the overview of our CSS module. So clear, right? By using HTML, we are doing the designing. So for that designing only, we are applying their styles by using CSS. Next, we'll go with another module, that is JavaScript. So what is the use of JavaScript? By using JavaScript, we can perform the client-side validations. We can perform the client-side validations. First, we have to go with what is meant by validation. Validation is nothing but we can validate the data. So whether user enter valid format or invalid format, we are going to check. So where we are using these kind of validations? In our regular life, we are using like net bankings, right? If you are generating net banking password, it is asking one uppercase mandatory, one lowercase mandatory, and one number is mandatory. So one special character also mandatory. These kind of conditions they mention, right? So that conditions we can build with the help of JavaScript only. For example, now we can observe. So I'm going to open here Amazon website. In the Amazon website, we have here sign in option. So it is asking like a email or phone number. If I'm not entering anything, just I'm going to click on continue. What happened? You can observe. It is showing the validation. What is that? Enter your email or mobile number. That means it is checking whether user enter valid format or not. Now I'm going to enter here. This is my email ID. And you can observe here, if I'm click on this one, so it is showing here. You can observe there was a problem. We cannot find account with our email address. Again, what happened? It is doing the validation. So, but it is doing like a server-side validation. Here, there is no confusion. You can just to go with here. In both the cases, what is the common word here? Validation. What is meant by validation? Validation is nothing but user enter correct information or not. We are just validating user enter correct information or not. So that is called validation. In real-time scenario, we have two types of validations, client side and server side. What is meant by client side? If you are checking anything in the browser end, if you are checking anything in the browser side, we can call it as a client side. And what about server? If you are interact with a DB, nothing but a database, so we can call it as a server side. Now we can observe in this example, if you are observing in the same example, first time in this example, you can just observe here. First time it is asking like a sign in. If I'm not entering any data, it is showing one message. So you can observe this is called client side. In the browser end only it is checking whether user entered that information or not. Where it is checking in the browser end only it is checking. We can call it as a client side validation. If you are checking anything in the browser end, we can call it as a client side. In the second stage, I am entering some data. So this is the my data. It is checking again. But where it is checking? It is checking in the Amazon database. So and so email is there or not, it is checking. Now we can observe we cannot find an account with the email address. It is checking in their database whether you are a valid user or not. This is server side. And in the first case, what we implemented, that is completely like a client side. With the help of JavaScript, we can go with a client side validation. For example, you can observe, I'm going to show you one more application. Here also we have the contact page. In the contact page, it is asking like a name, phone number, email ID, subject, all the details it is asking. If I'm going to click on the send message, without entering the data, if I'm click on that one, it is showing here mandatory fields. Please enter name, please enter phone number, please enter email ID. What about subject and message? Both are optional. It is not asking anything here like a subject and message. It is not displayed now. That means these fields are mandatory. Okay, now I'm going to enter the name. So my name is admin. Okay, and admin 123. This is my name. Okay, admin 123. And if I'm click on the send message, now we enter some data. But what happened? You can observe. Please enter characters only. Why? Because it is a name. So already we implemented some code. I want to allow only characters only. Either that should be uppercase or lowercase. Now we can observe it is not showing any message here. And in phone number, I'm entering the characters. Submit. Please enter digits only. That means you have to enter here the numbers only we implemented here. If I'm entering like this, now see here, it is not displayed any message. So that means you have to understood here the concept. So whether user enter valid information or not, we are checking. This is about how to work with so client side validations. By using JavaScript, we are doing here client side validations. So client side validation in the sense browser end, if you are performing anything, we can call it as a client side. Validation is nothing but you are going to validate whether user enter correct format or not. So if you are observing some of the login pages, some of the passwords, some of the registration pages, if you are observing, it is asking like a password and confirm password. Both are matched or not. And password minimum length. So for example, if I'm entering 4 characters, it is showing like so minimum you have to enter 6 to 9 characters. That means again they are doing here validation only. And if you are entering some of the cases password, it is showing like a weak password, or it is showing some of the cases strong password. So if you are doing that kind of activities also, we can just go with completely with the help of so JavaScript only. By using JavaScript, we can perform the client side validation. So and at the same time, we can also build the logics. For example, if I want to work with some calculation 10 into 20, if I'm writing in HTML, you will get the output also like a 10 into 20 only. Same programming if I'm writing in the JavaScript, at the time you will get the output here like a 200. Directly you will get the here. So the logic execution. If you want to create any logics also, you can just use here JavaScript here. By using JavaScript, we can perform the client-side validation as well as we can perform the logics also. That is a use of JavaScript module. Then next we'll go with here jQuery. So by using jQuery, we can perform the animations. We can perform the animations. So jQuery is not a separate programming language. It is a library of JavaScript. So just now only we discussed JavaScript, right? So there you have to write each and everything manually. You have to write the code. But in the jQuery, we have some predefined code. That is the reason we can call it as a library. We have set of inbuilt functions. You can just use that functions and you can apply animations. Which kind of animations? You can observe. In my home page, we have here the image. After some time gap, you can just check once here what happened. You can observe. Next image is automatically it is moved. And again, you can observe after some time gap, you have to go with that. Or you can click here manually also. There is no matter. So internally already we set some time. Based on the time, it is automatically navigated. So this kind of slider functionality, not only that one, you can just scroll down and you can observe. Here the numbers are automatically increment. So how we are going to do this kind of thing? This is also built with the help of so jQuery only. And you can observe here we have student feedbacks. Here also you can observe after some time gap, automatically it is navigating. This is also built with the help of jQuery. And you can observe. So we have here recent placements. So we have the recent placements. If you are observing that recent placements, so it is automatically scrolling after some time gap. So these kind of animations we can build completely with the help of jQuery here. So by using jQuery, we can so apply animations here. Not only these kind of basic animations, you can go with here advanced level also. For example, I'm using here another website. In this website, you can just observe. See, this image we are getting from the right side to left side. And you can observe here we have the heading. In the heading, first line and last line, you can observe. First line and last line, we are getting after some time gap or not, you can observe. 1 second. So I'm going to reload, you can observe. After some time gap only, we are getting here the first line and last line. That means in the coding only, we given some time. So based on the time, you are getting here. And you can observe one by one, we are getting here. And you can observe here. So here again, we have the counters. And here you can observe, we have the client logos. You can just do manually, you can move, or after some time gap also, automatically it is navigating. These kind of animations also we can build with the help of jQuery. And I will show you another example. You can observe. Now we can observe background image one time, and this image again after some time gap, and services one by one. Now you can observe background image, and again we are getting. You can observe next time what happened. You can observe one time left side, one time right side, one time up direction, and one time here. So you can observe here the styles you can observe. So how we are getting that background image styles. That means here we already implemented the jQuery. With the help of jQuery, these kind of animations you are going to perform. So by using all these modules, what are the modules? By using HTML and CSS, so JavaScript, jQuery. By using all these modules, you can create the static website. You can easily create the static website. And what about Bootstrap? We have to focus on Bootstrap also. What is the use of Bootstrap and why we are using Bootstrap in the real-time scenario? You are able to create one website here, but that website is only desktop friendly only. If you are launching any website, maybe some of the visitors, some of the users, they are going to open in the desktop, and some of the users they are going to open in the laptop, or some of the users they are going to open the tab, or some of the visitors they are going to open in the mobiles. In mobile also we have different screen sizes, right? If you are creating any website also, after launching, users are using different devices to open that website. If I want to create one website, all the device compatibility, we have to use the Bootstrap. What is the use of Bootstrap? By using Bootstrap, we can create the responsive web pages. Responsive web pages. So that means responsive is nothing but device compatibility, device friendly websites we are going to create with the help of Bootstrap. If you are creating any website also in the real time, 100% that should be responsive only. You can observe in the desktop view, we have paragraph and form side by side, and courses in one line we are getting here 4 courses. If I'm opening here in the mobile view, in mobile view, what happened? You can observe content. Below the content, we are getting the form. And what about courses? Courses also we are getting here one by one. Why you are getting one by one? Why? Because based on your screen size. See, now my screen size is this much. So we are getting here. Now you can observe here, if I'm going to increase my screen size, what happened? Now we are getting here 2 courses. In one line, we are getting 2. If I'm going to increase like a desktop size, now we can observe here 4 courses we are getting. That means whatever you are doing here, that should be completely device friendly only. If I want to create the device friendly, we have to use the Bootstrap. That means if you want to create any real-time website, you have to know all these modules. If you want to create the static website, you have to use all these modules like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap. By using all these modules, we created one static website. So, but that one I have to launch. Why? Because if you are build any website in our local system, if you are creating, so at the time you are unable to access outside. That means every time you are going to check in your laptop only, or you are going to check in your desktop only. So there is no use for that, right? We have to launch that application. If I want to launch the application, we have to use the concept called web hosting. We have to use the concept called web hosting. So in this web hosting, we have to cover some topics here, like how to purchase the domain. Domain is nothing but name of your business, like a www.abcd.com. Like that, we have to purchase the domain. After purchasing this domain, we have to purchase the server space also. That server space, how we are going to purchase and how to take the backups, everything we'll discuss in our web hosting concept. If you know all these modules, okay, if you know all these modules, so you are the perfect web designer. So if you know all these modules, you can apply job for web designing position. So if you know all these modules, you can apply for a web designer position. So here your profile is completely to build the static websites. You are going to build completely like only static websites only. You are not going to build completely dynamic one. So only static websites only. Your designation is like a front-end designer or so web designer. Your roles here. If you are joining in company, so they are going to give the designation as a web designer or so front-end designer. They are going to give the position like a designer only. Okay, for example, if I want to move to the development, at the time you have to go with these things. Along with this, you have to learn one framework or one library. If you are adding any library or framework, you are the developer. Present, you are doing completely like a designing part only. So for this packages also, very less packages only will get. Under the same time, job wise there is no difficulty. You will get the job, but here the career growth also, it will be like a very low only. So if you know along with this any library or framework, you are going to work as a UI developer. UI developer. In our front end only, we have to add here one more thing. Either you can go with a framework or library. At the time, your designation is UI developer. So if you are learning like a UI development course, why you are going to choose that one? Now we are going to discuss step by step here. So up to now we are doing the designing part. Next we'll go with web application. So up to now we focus on website only. Now we have to focus on here web application. So the web application contains here both front end and back end. So in the starting only I said like a full stack, right? Full stack in the sense front end and back end. No? So we implemented like front end up to now. So we have to add for that one framework or library. If we are adding framework or library, we can go with here either single page application or multi-page application. What is meant by application? Application contains both front end and back end. So if you want to create the front end, up to now, whatever we used, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, jQuery, along with this one, we have to know one library or one framework we have to know. So these web applications, always we have two types. One is multi-page application and second one is single page application. First, we have to focus on multi-page application. What is meant by multi-page application? If I'm giving any request, you will get the response. While getting the response, the entire application is reloading. So first you have to know what is meant by request. Request in the sense what you are doing, that action we can call it as a request. For example, if I'm going to click, so that is my request. If I'm click on this one, we are getting here one web page. This is response. If I'm click on this one, that is my request. We are getting here as a response. If I'm giving request, you will get the response. While getting the response, the application is loading or not. You can just check once. Now what happened? The application is loading. You can observe here. The application is loading. Again, the application is loading. Again, the application is loading. So here, if you are considering multi-page application, if I'm click on that one, that means if I'm giving the request, you are getting the response. While getting the response, the entire application is reloading. Okay, it is reloading. What happened? So if it is reloading, here we are facing performance issues. Here we are facing performance issues. For example, I have ElearnInfotech website. That ElearnInfotech website, so per day I will get like 200 visitors. Per day I will get like 200 visitors. For example, so if I have like 2000 visitors, At the time, maybe it will be affect on some performance issues. Present I am getting only 200 only. There is no problem. I can create the static website. And the 200 also at a time they are not watching. So like from morning to evening, so like a step-by-step process they are watching. At a time, I'm not getting like a 200 members also. I'm getting per day 200 visits only. So at that time, I can go with here multi-page only. Why? Because n number of requests. If I'm giving here request, you will get the response. You can observe it is loading. Again, it is loading. Again, it is loading. There is no problem in that. We are getting their immediate responses only. Why? Because if you are considering here, the number of visitors size is here very low. There is no problem in that. For example, if you are observing results websites, so for example, if you are considering BTech results or intermediate results, if you are getting any results, initially we are going to enter our hall ticket number to check the results. After entering this hall ticket number, we are going to click on the button like a get result. There is some button called get result. If you are click on the get result button, we are expecting results. But instead of the results, you will get the messages like so server down, or you will get here another errors also like unable to reach, timeout, these kind of errors we are getting. So which kind of errors you will get here? So like unable to reach, server out of range, and at the same time, so can't reach, these kind of errors you are getting. Why? Because here at a time, for example, 2000 students, they are going to enter their hall ticket number. And 2000 students at a time, they are going to click on the button. That means 2000 times the website is reloading. Continuously it is reloading not 2000 times. That is the reason you are getting like that kind of errors. So like a session out, time out, and so can't reach, and the server out of range, like that, these kind of errors we are getting. So this is a drawback we are facing in our multi-page application. So what is the drawback? Performance issues. If we have like a huge data, n number of visitors is there, at the time we are facing here performance issues. If you have like a less number of visitors, you can go with the multi-page application only. Example, you can observe here I'm creating like a ElearnInfotech website. This is like a multi-page only. If I'm click on here, you are getting here the another page, but it is reloading. You can observe again it is reloading. Why? Because it is a multi-page application. Now you can observe. I will show you the single page application similar to ElearnInfotech. If I'm click on here about us, you can just observe it is reloading or directly you are getting. Now you can observe here we are getting here another response without reloading. You can observe it is not doing any reloading. That means immediate responses you are getting. This is called single page application. In multi-page, every time, so it is reloading. What about single page? If you are giving any request, you will get the response, but here not reloading. Here it is not doing any reloading. So that is called single page application. If I want to build a single page application, I can use here so different programming languages. So that is either you can go with React.js, or you can go with AngularJS or Vue.js. You can use any one JS. JS is nothing but JavaScript. So you can go with a React JavaScript or Angular JavaScript or Vue JavaScript. So maximum cases Vue are not using in India. I will show you the stats also later. Vue maximum cases all are not using. Always we are using here React or Angular. Now we are going to do little bit difference between React and Angular. So both are related to the JavaScript only. Which one is the best? Later we'll discuss. First we have to focus on these two things. So both are related to the JavaScript only. React.js is a library of JavaScript. It is a library of JavaScript. That means inbuilt packages we have. So you have to use that packages and you can easily create that single page application here. And what about this one? It is a framework. It is a framework. So by using this framework also, again, you are going to create the single page only. Both are for single page application. What is meant by single page? If you are giving any request, you will get the response. While getting the response, it is not reloading. You can observe without reloading, you are getting right. So this is called single page application. If I want to create the single page application, you can go with a React.js or AngularJS. So it is a library and it is a framework, and it is officially maintained by the Facebook company. So actually, so to build the Facebook application, they introduced some programming. That programming is React.js. So after launching this Facebook application, so they did like a completely open source. Nothing but anyone can access that React application easily. That means you can download without payment, free of cost. You can download and you can create any React application also without any cost. With free of cost only, you can directly create that application. So what are the main products of React? In our regular life, we are using WhatsApp. That WhatsApp is completely React product only. And Instagram, that is also React product only. And e-commerce websites we are observing, right? So Flipkart, Amazon, Snapdeal, like that we are observing e-commerce websites. Now, almost 95% of the e-commerce dashboards. Already I showed what is meant by dashboard, all these things in the dynamic website, right? So if you want to create the e-commerce dashboards also, maximum cases, we are using React.js only. So that is a small overview of the React.js. And what about here? So here it is actually maintained by the Google company. Google products completely, Google Ads, Gmail, Google Console, and Google Maps, everything built with the help of AngularJS. It is actually maintained by the Google company. The current version is here 14th version. But here every 6 months, 100% they are going to introduce some version mandatory. That means if you are learning the React or AngularJS, per year 2 times you have to upgrade. Mandatory, you have to upgrade 2 times. That is mandatory. What about here? This is a library. Library in the sense, completely it is add-on features only. They are not going to remove completely. It is only add-on features. Old version is working and they are going to add some new features. But here it is a library. That is the reason we can call it as a add-on features. So if you are observing, currently we are using Angular 14 now. So we have first 2 versions like Angular JS. So now we are using Angular. Both are different. Both are not same. So if you are observing, it is related to the JavaScript. Complete code they implemented here JavaScript, but here it is completely based on the TypeScript. TypeScript. We have to learn the additional module TypeScript if you want to create the AngularJS application. So you can observe here by using React.js, it is a library. We can create the single page. It is a library actually maintained by the Facebook company. And at the same time, official products, the main products of React is WhatsApp and Instagram. And almost 95% of the e-commerce dashboards built with the help of React.js only. And it is completely library now. That means in future also, if they are going to introduce some new features, they are going to add that feature. That means old version it is working. There is no problem in that. It is entire code based on the ECMAScript. Actually, we discussed about JavaScript now. So this JavaScript, we can use as a advanced level. We can call it as a ECMAScript. So ECMAScript is completely related to the JavaScript only, but it is completely advanced concepts. That is the reason we can call it as a ECMAScript here. So if you are using ECMAScript, you can easily create the React applications without any failure. You can easily create. What about here? So you have to use all the programming languages, HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, jQuery. Additionally, you can use the TypeScript also. You have to use. With the help of these two, you can go with a like a single page creation. So now you can observe which one we are using regularly in the real time. I will show you the Google stats also. You can observe here. React versus Angular versus Vue. So Google stats. We can go with the Google survey. If I'm doing here Google survey, you can observe here. So if you are observing React is a UI library, forget about definition. You can observe here. React.js out of 100, 40% members are using. What about Angular? 22%. What about Vue? 18%. That is the reason initially I removed the Vue. Okay. Maximum cases in India, we are not using Vue. In abroad, we are using the Vue. There is no problem in that. So Coming to the Angular, you can observe just 22% you are using, and React you can observe. So you can observe here 40.14. So why that much of demand for React? If you are observing n number of users, like a worldwide Facebook application are using. So at a time, lakhs of members are using without any loading time. You are getting immediate responses. That is the main advantage of React here. So it is a library, no? It is containing n number of packages. Just I will show you. You are unable to understand in this level. You can observe here. If I'm opening here, see, this is one package. In the package, again submodules are there. So how many modules we have, we can observe here. This many packages we have. Under these packages, again sub packages are there. You can observe main packages, only these many main packages we have. That is the reason. So nowadays all are choosing the React.js, and it is library, right? In future also, you are going to just to upgrade like for add-on features only. You are not going to change complete programming. So if you are choosing like Angular, maybe there is a chance. So they are going to change complete thing also. Why? Because it is a framework. It is not a library. So this is the small difference between Angular and React. Which one we are going to prefer? Always React one. You can observe. So this is not our survey, right? It is completely Google survey only, right? So if you know this React.js along with so HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, jQuery, and so ECMAScript and React. Now your profile is completely for UI developer or front-end developer. Previously our designation is designer. So we are creating only static. Now you can create the complete overview view here we are going to create. So if I want to create that one, I can go with the React, where we are using these kind of things for entrepreneur applications, ERPs, and at the same time e-commerce dashboards. So we can easily create that one. So that is the thing we are going to learn here. So if you know all these things, now your profile is UI developer. You can easily get the job as a UI developer, and packages also differentiated. So this is the complete front end. Up to now, whatever we discussed, this is completely front end only. If you know front end, you can just to try as a UI developer or front end developer. So in case if you are adding a backend for this one, so your profile is like a full stack developer. That backend activities, everything we'll discuss in the next class. So here you have to focus on some tools also. We have to focus on some tools also in our course. Now I will show you the tools and techniques also here. See, in the real time, every time we have to go with like always smart working only instead of doing hard working, right? For example, if I want to create this form, for that what we have to do? We have to use the HTML to create the form. That means I have to write the code for that. Instead of doing that one, I can directly use some tools. With the help of that tool, I can able to design that one. Now I can just open here HTML, CSS, JS.com. I'm opening like this HTML, CSS, JS.com. This is the tool. Just I'm opening the tool. Here it is showing like a HTML. It is showing here some HTML code also. Now what we have to do? If I'm click on here HTML, so it is showing here which things you require. You want here online editor or templates. So what you require? Actually, I required here some form, right? I have to select the form here. So you can observe contact form. So in the contact form, what you require? I want one label and input control. Below that input control, I want some text area and button. Now you can observe. So now the form is created, and at the same time, the code also we have. See here how much easy it is. So that means in the real time, always we are going to use these kind of techniques here. Okay. So I will show you one more tool also so that you will get more clarity. Now I am opening here one engineering college website. Here we have like some table creation. You can observe here, if you want to create this much of table, actually this data we are getting from the, client only, like from the college only we are getting. If I want to create these kind of tables also, I can again use here. So another So editor, another tool you can observe here. If I'm going to click on here, so automatically you are getting or not, you can observe here. If you are writing manually, what happened? You are going to implement a n number of lines of code. See, if you are writing here 500 lines of code, that is very difficult. It is taking like 2 hours or 3 hours. But within how many minutes I'm generating? Within 1 minute I'm generating, right? So for example, if I want some points, so how to do that one? You can observe. This is the points. So you can observe the code is generated. I want to check whether it is working fine or not. Okay. Now simply what we are going to do, I have to go with here. So in one file, I'm going to save here. Now I'm going to write. Now I'm going to run this programming. If I'm running this one, same output we are getting or not, we'll check whether you are getting points or not. Now see, we are getting here points. That means here we are just using the tools. With the help of the tools, we are going to get so easily these kind of tools we are going to discuss in our course. So see here, WhatsApp integrations we have and call buttons we have. This is completely for real-time experience. So you have to go with these kind of things. How to use all these activities, I will show you in our regular classes here. So for this only front end, it is taking so 3 months duration. Only for the front end, it is taking like a 3 months duration. Daily 1 hour class is there, and along with this one, we are going to provide you the recorded videos also. Class recordings also will share you. And at the same time, so by using HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, jQuery, we are going to create 3 live projects, 3 live websites I'm going to create. First project completely I will show you from the starting to ending. Remaining 2 projects, I will give you the requirement. I will give you like a requirement. We have to go with that. So you can apply here. For example, if I know complete this static websites, if I finished, so then we have to go with 2 more live projects by using React. So I will show you how to create the React application and how to launch also. Everything I will show you in our regular classes. For example, in backend, if you are using like if you are go with a Node.js or if you are go with a PHP, so these are the backend languages I'm going to teach you. Either you are going to choose like a Node.js or PHP. So by using a Node.js or PHP, again we are going to create 2 more projects. So then you are designated as a full stack developer. So these modules, about these projects, we'll discuss in the next class. So only today we discussed about the front end only, the part we discussed here. Clear, right?